We're going to get started here, and welcome all, about 30 of you, plus maybe a couple more, to the, can you believe this is the 81st edition of the Zoom Rock Room? 81 times we've done this, and you folks still keep coming back. That's amazing. Okay. And hello, Brittany, the Easter Bunny. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
We had a real good Easter.
Good.
I went out and ate me a nice steak and came home and took a nap and watched NASCAR.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Hey, in honor of Easter, do you know how rabbits keep their fur looking good?
By exfoliating?
No, that's a good one though. How about hairspray?
Ah.
Doesn't that make sense? Yeah. Okay. If you don't know, Brittany's our co-host, and she'll be watching the chat tonight for questions and whatever else she wants to bring up tonight. And so we'll get the intros going here because we have somebody standing by really special to wants to talk tonight. So let me hit my share button and so our Zoom Rock Room is always sponsored by Lair Architect in Lake Havasu City, and I am happy to announce that we just settled on another contract for another year. So Lair Architect loves what we're doing and believes in what we're doing, and they come back for April to April season as a primary sponsor. So email them at lairarchitecture@yahoo.com and say hi. They're having fun out there in the sun and the nice weather. Also, the Institute in Waynesboro help us promote our series, and there's a couple of April programs coming up yet. If you're interested in nature photography or Earth Celebration Day coming up, April 23rd, and the Appalachian Trail monthly natural hike on April 24th. And we just finished basically a weekend out there 2 weeks ago with a Thursday and a Saturday field trip. Real successful. The weather on that Saturday wasn't the best, but everyone tolerated it, and we saw a lot of cold geology in the South Mountain and Waynesboro area. Of course, Andrew Eppig, who's also known as Andrew Rockhounder, with his Extreme Cody series on YouTube. And tonight, Andrew is actually on his own adventure, and he's going to report to us right now where he is, what he's doing, and what kind of trouble is he getting into. Andrew?
All kinds of trouble, Jerry.
Let me stop sharing here so you can go. There you go.
Hey, Rock Room. I'm here live in Sprakers, New York. Check out what happened.
Uh-oh.
Gotta get back to you all here. All right, there we go. All right, you guys got me back. The phone just went into the snow that I was about to tell you all about.
You're good.
All right. So I'm here in Sprakers, New York. Mohawk Valley Mineral Mining. Hopefully there's not any snow on the camera anymore. But yeah. All right, we got 3 to 4 inches overnight. But yesterday I was just over that hill down there, pulling out some of the most amazing crystals, and I have got the next rock room. I'm going to have the most amazing report for you. But as a preview, I am here in the middle of the field at the Mohawk Valley Mineral Mining Shaft. Let's go take a look what's inside. I'm going to remove my hook and my diamond hat and put on my hat with all my certain stickers on it. All right. I just pulled that hard hat off of that chapter. Let me just turn around here for you a second. You see these crystals?
Yes, I do. Huh.
Look at this stuff, this cluster here.
Jeez whiz.
That came out of Mohawk.
Wow.
That is an amazing cluster here, less than a year. This has only been operating for less than a year. So, you know, when you talk about unpicked mine sites, this is what's come out in just a year. I mean, he's holding like, I don't know, it's a soccer ball size. Like, I mean, you know, they're not always perfect, but look at them. I mean, these things are huge. Here's calcite. Here's a massive calcite structure. You see that? I mean, that's like 6 inches across. 7 pounds. 7 pounds. And that's the legend himself, Joe Herkimer Diamond. He was on Rock Room back in November, October, something like that. And that's what spurred this whole trip. We had an amazing day yesterday. I just wanted to say, like every day, we had actually, yesterday was amazing. It was, you know, the mud is 3 foot thick. We got the gator stuck in the field, trying to get back out with the bucket full of Geology and crystals that I pulled out and everyone else did. But at the same time, we had the crystal lovers here filming at the same time. And Nicolette, those Nicolette people, she is handicapped. She got down a straight cliff and was mining on the side of a cliff all day and pulled out the largest goonie of the day. I mean, this thing is amazing. Just wait about 6-7 pounds. Yeah. Beautiful. So, you know, but yet the people on other side of it didn't find anything. Now, Joe and I were learning he was teaching me how to break the rock. And oh man, Joe walked away for a minute. I moved 2 boulders that we had broken from a rock face. That's gonna be a good moment on my next report. I kind of do a little flip out on the video, pulling this thing out of the ground. So, and it's not even that big, but it was still amazing. So let me just show you something else real quick right over here. I gotta get, yeah, we gotta get away from the window. Yeah, that'll be better. You see that? That's about an inch and a half. Inch and a half, sitting in a pocket. Out of a weathered rock. Yeah, there's snow all over it. We was outside in the snow. But that's what it's like up here. I mean, they're just everywhere. I actually, 3 minutes, you know, we ran down here from the main house. We were up at the owner Scott and Mrs. house, and we were part of the live auction up there that they're currently doing right now as we speak. Go to the Facebook page, and not until we're done tonight at the Rock Room, but they'll still be going all night. Facebook page, Mohawk Valley Mineral Mining. They're auctioning off crystals all night. The first lot was my personal pay dirt of fossils, pay dirt, and gold pay dirt with a couple hooks thrown in. It went for $125. I was like, woo! But there's auctions go for 15, 20 bucks. You know, you can get some great stuff on these auctions. So if you we got a whole lot of hooks, we're running out. We gotta get out there. I took them all. I was out there just catching them as they were popping them out. Like, but yeah, no, it's been a great, amazing time, and I've got a great report coming to you. We've got some magic moments coming here in this one. So yeah,
I got a question.
Yep.
What time do you guys start working in the morning?
What time do we start working in the morning?
Yeah.
We start bringing people down around 8 o'clock now because you get so many people, and it takes you, you know, a good 20 minutes to get down and back with about 4 or 5 people at a time.
Okay.
So, but Liz starts as soon as the sun cracks the edge, you know. She goes out there early and she's mining all the time. You know, she does live there, but
8 o'clock not bad for me.
it's not about the morning start time. You can go all night. As long as it doesn't start snowing on you like it did last night on us.
We got people out there 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night still, you know, because we're camping here and they're having a great time out there. They got their headlamps on. They're finding stuff at night, you know. Yeah, I'm not that person, but
Right?
they're here. They come here.
Hey, Brittany, you have a question?
I do actually. I read that you can find, it looks like coal. It's like bits of plant decay and also like water bubbles inside the crystals. Are you finding that kind of stuff?
I actually meant to bring down what I found yesterday, and I found a nice herc about that big with the anthractolite in it. That is called anthractolite. That black, that actually, yeah, right? We don't actually, yeah, they're all huge. We have so many huge crystals here, we don't have any problems with anthractolite. So anthractolite will spur the crystal growth, and the crystal will actually grow around that anthractolite.
Anthractolite inclusion. This is a Herkimer from the elusive Herkimer diamond mine.
Let's come outside. Yeah, so this will be a lot better, a lot more light.
So that's some anthractolite inclusion,
Oh,
little particles of it. It's usually stuck right on the outside. Can you see it?
Yeah, I think they can see it.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so, and then, they've also find scepter formations here, which
These will be your scepter marks back here. These lines are actually each of the Herkimer separated with little air gaps in between them. Well, not scepter, that's skeletal.
but they do find scepter formations here that are around, a line of anthractolite, right? That's
Yeah.
what Scott was telling
Basically,
me.
it's an anthractolite rock, but typically in the pocket, the anthractolite is just dusty until you find these scepter pockets, and then it's just awesome. They're really nice.
Yeah.
They go right out through the Herkimer. They're really nice.
Okay.
So yeah,
Awesome. What?
that is supposedly old, fossilized plant matter. I believe, based on the research that I'm going to step into a pile here, but I believe on the research that I dug up, yes, from when the Jolo stone got fractured and all that, at one point it got filled with carbon, hydrocarbon, almost oil, and that's what started the anthractolite. So yes, it's plant-based.
Nice. And one more question. How big is the truck you're gonna have to rent to get all your haul home?
No, that's the problem. I drove my wife's G6 Pontiac little tiny car, and it's like dragging tail on the way back. Cause yeah, I only mined one day. I was supposed to mine 3 days, and I don't think I'm gonna get to mine tomorrow. We're gonna try to go to Joe's personal mine tomorrow. But I think we covered it.
I got over 8 inches of snow at my place.
It is melting, but I'm not sure it's gonna melt that much. But yeah, we got a good video though. It's gonna be a great report. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you all. Glad you can come up here with me.
Hey, Joe, I pity you for having him as a trainee. You got a big challenge in front of you.
So everyone, make sure you check out on Facebook the elusive Herkimer diamond. That's Joe, and that's his mine. That's his group on Facebook. They're always posting amazing stuff. And Mohawk Valley Mineral Mining, they are always posting videos live from the mine.
One of the 7 mines, 7 public mines that everybody's allowed to go to, and I go to almost all the mines all the time. I do work here, but I also go to the other places. It's all a different adventure and a different diamond,
This is just the one that hasn't been picked yet because it's only a year old. So.
And these are the biggest. These are by far the biggest ever seen.
All right. Well, you two have a great time there, and Andrew, if you need a tow truck, just give me a call. We'll hook you up somehow.
Hey, come on up. We'll fill it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
All righty. All right. Let's get back to here. So yeah, great job there, Andrew, and good to see you again, Joe. You gave us a great program a few months ago on Herkimer Diamond. So, all right, I remind you occasionally about this free magazine. It's online now, Pennsylvania Geology, published by the I still call them the Pennsylvania Geologic Survey, and our friend Paul Fegley's article was just in the last edition that came out a week and a half or so ago. So check it out online. I think I did send everybody a link to the publication. There's also a article in there from Adam Iano, who did a program for us about about California. And I also saw, I did not know this, but a friend of mine, Dr. Roger Cuffey, retired vertebrate paleontologist from Penn State, died New Year's Day, and I was not aware of that. And Roger and I spent some time together here in Southeast Pennsylvania, doing some things with Triassic fossils. So that this particular issue is loaded with information that you all might, of course, will enjoy, particularly Paul's article. We also thank Crystal Cove Collective up in Camp Hill for their donations of specimens when we are having a contest. So stop in at the Lower Allen Shopping Center and see Michael and Krista for any needs for minerals, fossils, rocks, gems that they have in stock. Zoom Rock Room Gathering is now set for June 25th from 10 to 2 at the Greenwood Furnace State Park. And Paul is going to be our host. We are going to have a covered dish lunch. Rock Room will have the hot dogs, the hamburgers, and the rolls, and the ketchup and mustard and all that stuff. But we ask you to bring a covered dish, and please email me if you are planning to go. I do have a list started, so that should be a fun day to see everybody in person again. A couple of activities coming up this coming weekend. Actually, Sterling Hill Mining Museum is having their Super Mineral and Fossil Garage Sale. Brooks County is the show will be April 30th and May 1st. And don't forget, May the 14th, South Mountain Swap at the South Mountain Fairground in Arntsville, Pennsylvania, will be back for their spring edition. Admission's only $1 if you want to have a table to have swap or sell. That's $5. James Webb Telescope, I just read today, actually, the final element of the telescope that needed to be cooled to a very cold temperature has been achieved, and that is the last instrument that needed to be fine-tuned before things can go to work. So they're very, very close to starting to produce some real photography out there in space. So James Webb's about ready to prove its existence. As far as Jones Geological Services, save some time. You can read these as fast as I can read them to you. But the May 18th York County Civil War Roundtable will be Zoomed and also on Facebook Live. If I get a link to that before May 18th, I will send it out to everybody if you want to zoom in and hear about Gettysburg. May 21st, the Sweet Arrow Lake County Park up in Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. I believe Brittany is going to be there with me to do a geology walk at 3 and astronomy at 8:30. So that's Earth and Space Day at Sweet Arrow Lake, right outside of Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. June 17th and 18th, weekend before I get together at Greenwood, Cador State Park in Hanover, Pennsylvania, has the Experience Cador's Outdoors Festival going on. And we are going to have a fossil pit there for people to be breaking rocks and finding fossils. Any of you want to come down and help to be not chaperones, but helpers and identifying stuff, it's easy to learn. We'll show you everything. Friday night and all day Saturday. Will be going on. As far as the Zoom rock room schedule, and next week, Paul Figley will be talking about his valley up there, and of course, it corresponds with the article in Pennsylvania Geology. Jason Kowinski will be here second session of May. He's also known as the Fossil Guy, incredible website for using for identifications. Petroglyphs along the Susquehanna River by Bart Stump will be the first one in June. And at this point, June 21st, I'll be doing the Journey through South Mountain in the Frederick Valley, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. If nothing else comes up better, and I have to move that program again. So anyway, that's all that. So let me get out of here. I do want to make an announcement before I do forget. The video of these programs is no longer going to be posted on jonesgeo.com, but they're going to be made public and will be placed on YouTube. So if you do want to see an older program starting tonight, they'll be on YouTube, made to the public. All you have to do is search for Zoom rock room, and maybe put in a topic with the theme of the night. So I just want to make that announcement. Don't look for videos on Jones Geo. There's not a lot of action of people going back and then looking at the videos. So we're going to save space and just put them out there on YouTube for the whole world to see. So with that in mind, I am going to introduce our program tonight, other than Andrew. And I got to put my hat on to be official here. This has been a program coming for a while, but with John's help and Samantha Wiseman help, they put together a program for us tonight. I'm calling it the NR1 project, but John Lahm is going to, of course, go into more detail. He does have a book out, which is called Bad to the Bone, which he wrote about maybe the subject he's going to be talking about with NR1. And the book is available on Amazon.com. And it's an interesting read and all that. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to John Lahm, and they can take it away, and everybody enjoy the program.
How you doing?
Okay, there you are. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to share the screen, Jerry.
Yep.
There we go. You just hit the down button when you're ready to go through.
Yes, I'd like to introduce you to the submarine springs, which bring the state of Florida. And I have to start with the beginning of the story. In August 1992, I was working in Kings Bay Nuclear Submarine Base. I went into the shop one day and a coworker threw shark's teeth on the table and said, "Have at it." We grabbed as many as we could, and then I asked the gentleman, "Where did these come from?" He replied, "Under my boot." It turns out that he was a bulldozer operator at Kings Bay when they were dredging. You can imagine white sand coming out of the pipe and sporadically a black shark tooth mixed in. The bulldozer operator would stop operations to retrieve the teeth. At this point, I thought to myself, this would be a great start in writing a novel. I started doing research on my novel, and I got some information in reference to the state of Florida. The basement of Florida is limestone. Rain falls on the plant life and producing a weak acid. Over time, this acid eats into the limestone base, which causes sinkholes. 10,000 years ago, Florida was 1/3 larger than it is now. All the sinkholes that were in Florida were land-based. When the ice melted, some of these sinkholes became submarine springs. The only exception being the NR1 hole, which has never been exposed to air. I started doing research for my upcoming novel. The NR1 submarine discovered a new hole in the sea floor. I contacted Dr. Charles Paul, who had been on the NR1 submarine during the discovery in October 1994. Dr. Charles Paul sent me an abstract of the dive, which includes a new discovery. I called him and I asked him, I said, did the captain of the NR1 go into the NR1 hole? He replied, no. I then went to the Advisory Committee of Undersea Features requesting that the new discovery be named NR1 Hole in honor of the NR1 submarine. That was approved in 1998. Then I went to Philadelphia Coast Guard requesting help in charting the NR1 hole. They moved forward. It was approved. I contacted a scientist that worked for NOAA Exploration requesting help exploring the NR1 hole. He contacted the Congress of the United States and they issued a survey of opportunity. Harbor Branch International picked up that survey. So they sent the Johnson Sea Link 2 down into the NR1 hole. Upon entering the spring, the operator observed a cable running down the north wall. I contacted him by phone and asked him what the cable was, and he said he did not know. I then sent a letter to the U.S. Department of Commerce requesting information. 2 years later, I received a letter from them stating that the cable had originally been connected between Havana, Cuba, and Key West, Florida. The cable was cut during the Cuban Missile Crisis. In summation, as long as there are ocean charts, the NR1 submarine will always be with us. Bad to the Bone is a fictional novel that I wrote, which references the survey of the NR1 submarine in 1994. It takes the mystery and reality of the submarine springs and reveals to the reader the natural wonders that lie within. I needed a recovery vessel at Kings Bay dredge site for my novel. I decided to use a Glomar Explorer, which is the world's most famous spy ship. I had the honor of having this marker placed at Independence Seaport Museum in Philadelphia. The ship was built in Chester, Pennsylvania. Did they see them?
Yep.
So these are similar teeth that were given to me at Kings Bay in 1992. They're as big as your hand and shiny as a boot, black as night. Any questions?
You want to put them into the chat?
Oh, okay. Yep. Wait, stop the share.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
Those are pretty big, right, John?
Yeah, big as your hand,
Big as your hand. Yeah, okay.
tiny as a boot, and they're probably 40 to 150 million years old. And these teeth like this came out of the dredge site at Kings Bay Nuclear Submarine Base.
Huh.
And the museum at Kings Bay has bigger than your hand size teeth that came from the site.
That's pretty good. See if we have any questions from anybody here. I have one. I think you kind of you and I talked about this one time on the phone. Was the apartment building collapse that happened in Florida last year? Didn't you
Oh,
have,
yes.
Didn't you have a theory that that was maybe caused by
Yes.
a sinkhole?
Yes. During the 1994 survey, the NR1 submarine, the first site it went to was the Miami Submarine Spring, which is 9 miles east of Miami Beach. So you go down 100 feet, and the opening is 300 feet in diameter. So it's my theory that potentially when they build on the beach, that building that collapsed, it may have been part of that spring system. Like it's like a plumbing system that has its origin under the state of Florida.
And of course, Florida is full of sinkholes, as probably most of our people know.
Most people don't know. That's
Oh.
why I want them to know and learn.
Yeah. I think we have a question, Brittany, right?
Yes. What are the teeth? Oh, what kind of shark are they? Do you know?
Not sure. These particular teeth,
Right.
all I know is they were embedded in marl. These are not teeth from Kings Bay Submarine Base, but they're similar in size and nature and age, 40 to 150 million years old.
So, did you ever go on the NR1 itself?
Now, I'd been on one submarine when I worked at Kings Bay, but not the NR1. I did donate a hat to the Groton, Connecticut submarine base. And it's like Congress to give them something. It's like 10 pages to give them something.
Right.
And parts of the NR1 submarine, which had been dismantled, is at Groton Museum. So you can see that if you ever go, it's in Connecticut.
Was there a project that NR1 was really more famous for, as far as?
Well, the original project that we can't know, it tapped into the Soviet undersea cables off of Vladivostok, Russia.
Oh.
And the reason the hat does not have a USS moniker on there is that if you were on that boat, you have the hat, and the Russians seized you, or the Soviets, no one would come to your door. Say it. I made the mistake of having USS put on there, and nobody informed me that it's something that can't be known. It also brought up parts of the Challenger, sadly, during the 1986 explosion. That the NR1 weighs 800 tons, and it's only about 60 feet long. And it sat on the sea floor picking up parts of that disaster. So that was another aspect of the NR1.
Yeah, it was a sad day in my life, that I'm big into NASA.
Okay.
And I've been to Cape Kennedy a number of times for launches, and I wasn't there for that one, luckily, but
Good. Yeah.
it was a sad day in my life. Yep.
Now I did when my wife and I were in Bernardino Beach, Florida, I spoke to a shrimper, and he said that they would go down and off of Cape Canaveral or Cape Kennedy and he would find parts from the rocket parts, and he put them in his backyard, or they're probably still there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you have another
But he went
question.
in, he went to I asked him about the Crescent Beach submarine spring. That spring is just south of St. Augustine. And my wife and I went there this winter because I wanted to go to the beach. And there's a sign there, it says Crescent Beach. And there were a few people that were walking by, and I told them that 3 mile, if they had a rowboat and 2 empty cups and a set of oars, they could row out 3 miles, dip their cups into the water and drink fresh water. That spring is the #1 outflow all of Florida, and it's offshore.
Wow.
And the water that's pumping up out of the sea floor to you is 10,000 years old. It has its origins northern Florida under the state.
Yeah.
That's 2 submarine springs. You
Yeah.
have the mud hole on the west coast. That was discovered by Landsat imagery. The government thought that it was a Soviet submarine over there, and they honed in on it. They found out that it was fresh water coming out of the sea floor, and the water temperature was 90 degrees 365 days a year.
Wow.
So the fish loved that. Certain species would go there in the wintertime, and the fishermen loved it there until the government came in and started mucking things up.
Right. I think we got some more chat activity there.
Yep. First, he did say that they were found embedded in marl. If you're not sure what marl is, it is a calcareous clay. It's fine grain, considered a limestone, and commonly it does hold shells and it can be freshwater or seawater. Florida sea level. Florida is anywhere from 0 to 300 and probably about 320 meters above sea level, with a mean of 100 feet above sea level. Says John shared with me something about the endangered right whale using these places as birthing grounds. It is a
Yes,
fascinating story.
Yes, it's my, there were 2 studies done. One was, they call it the Jodes. That's 55 miles east of Fernandina Beach. So the Jodes is a research vessel, and they bored into the sea floor, bringing up large amounts of fresh water at 55 miles east of the land. And then there was the Tenneco. That was a oil company, 26 miles offshore, also finding large amounts of fresh water. And the northern right whales, which are heading back north now with their calves, they come south, and for some reason it seems that they stop at Fernandina Beach and St. Mary's, Georgia to birth. I asked a scientist about that, and he said studies would have to be done. So that's where we're at.
That's a
So
good way
I
to
asked
yeah.
a question.
Are there any- Go ahead.
Also, did you scuba dive at all?
No. Now, I worked at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. So my interests partially in like the Glomar Explorer and the naming is for remembrance. When I went to work at the shipyard, some of the gentlemen were former Navy, and they would say, "Oh, I hated my sea duty." But after they got off, they said, "I love that ship." And then the government would cut it up like it's nothing. So it's these 2 aspects are to remember these most famous ships and the people who built them and worked on them.
Now, are there any submarine sinks over in the Gulf of Mexico side?
Well, that would be the mud hole's the only one that in that area that I know of. There's probably more, but the survey was mostly the East Coast. The Red Snapper Submarine Spring, that's another one of interest if you're a diver. In 1964, the netters located an area, and it's 26 miles off of, not exactly sure, off the northern coast of Florida, maybe Jacksonville. So that's 26 miles east. You go down only 100 feet, and the opening in the sea floor is only 400 feet wide. They took 40,000 pound of red snapper fish out of that hole on that fishing trip. They lost their position. They didn't write it down during the storm. They came back, took out 60,000 pound out of that shaft, and then called the U.S. Geological Survey. So in I think it was 1980s, 11 divers from Tennessee with mixed air gas went down into that hole, and they went down 500 feet below the sea floor, and they looked and they seen tunnels heading westbound. So that's the origin is under the state of Florida somewhere. So that's your diving people.
Right.
And I have the abstract for that if anybody would want that. That's called the Red Snapper Submarine Spring.
And just to confirm, your book is available on Amazon?
Yes.
Okay.
See where the publication, he's the publisher. And my publisher is going to be at Kings Bay Submarine Base. He's going to be camping there next month. And he's going to be wearing the NR1 hat.
Okay.
Is the cable that you saw from Havana still functioning, or was it cut during the Cuban Missile Crisis back in 1962?
It was cut. I have the letter from the Commerce Department.
Huh.
And I have the video of the dive into that shaft at the as far as they went, as the Johnson Sea Link went, they were tracked by a shark. So you're about 2,200 feet below sea level. And then they came upon something with their camera. It looked like the lower jaw of something. And their manipulating arm tried to take a piece of it, but they couldn't get anything off there. And that was the end of that particular dive.
Okay.
Any other questions? Oh, so did Castro cut it or the US government? Do we know?
Can't be known.
I gotta give some credit where credit's due. Actually, I heard about you, John, through another contact that you made with Rosanna Bear from the Pennsylvania Geologic Survey.
Yes, she's a very nice person.
And Rosanna is actually in our room tonight.
Ah,
But I invited her. I said, you need to hear John because you were the instigator to make all this happen.
Oh.
So,
instigator, huh?
well, I call her I call her a lot of different names.
Okay.
I can do that because I've known her for a long time.
All right.
Okay. That's a great program, John. I don't want to embarrass you, but that's the first time you've done a Zoom.
Yes.
And Samantha helped you out quite a bit.
Excellent. She's a producer.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Oh, yeah. She's excellent.
She communicated with me quite a bit to make this happen tonight. So
Yes.
you did
I
very
thank
well.
everybody.
I think you can go on the road now and go around the country doing your NR1 program. So, anyway,
Well, I want the world to know.
well, you're doing a good job. That's promotion. So I'd buy Samantha a Milky Way candy bar or something to say thank you. For me, okay. So, all right.
She's getting a shark tooth. She's getting one of these. She's getting this tooth right here.
Okay. That's a wonderful one.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna We're gonna move on here. Nice program, John and Samantha. Thanks for making that happen. And
I thank you.
yep. So, all right. We'll end our program here. I just want to remind people that might come in here a little late that our Zoom Rock Room videos will be going onto YouTube and not onto the jonesgeo.com site for space. And we're going to close this out now, and I'll turn it over to Brittany so you can say goodnight to everybody.
I actually have another question that I've been saving because it's more directed for you, Jerry.
Uh-oh.
Is there a recording of the Eastern PA Geology talk from last Thursday? Deborah would like to see it because she was out of town.
I had another one. I had a question about that too. Apparently, no. I did not record it last week at Waynesboro. I know you and I did it on Zoom Rock Room, but that recording is missing, like the mafia took it or something. Actually, I think what happened that night, I was so excited about pulling that one off that I forgot to hit the record button. So that was not recorded at all.
Jerry, all my hard work.
Yeah, I know. We need to do it again so we can record it, right?
Yeah.
But my archivalist, Ken, who's on board here, he has all the recordings, and he doesn't have that one, and I didn't have that in my library either. So I just don't think I remember to press the record button until like it was over. So we just have to do
Excuse
that
me,
again.
what is John's last name?
Who?
John.
What is the speaker's last name?
It's Lahm, Lahm. Here's
Thank you.
See his that showing up in the book on his book.
You gotta hold it in front of you. We see your background. There we go.
Can you see his name? No, my background playing.
Oh, there it is. It's in the chat.
Okay. A good read though. So. Okay, yeah. Sorry about the East Coast, Eastern Pennsylvania geology. We'll have to work on that. We have all the slides together. All right, Brittany.
Actually, one more thing. I don't know if this is for the Central Pennsylvania Rock and Mineral Club. I don't know if Ken is on our field trip advisor, but we have a question. Do we have to call to reserve a spot for the Saturday field trip? I do not believe you have to. Ken maybe can confirm that, but you could always shoot him an email. His email's in the newsletter, and let him know that you're going to be there.
Nope, it's show up, and that's all you have to do.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Hey, I got one more joke here for you. What does a nut say when it sneezes? Cashew. Oh, I love to see Brittany laugh. It makes my day.
I'm going to use that tomorrow at work, just so you know.
You want me to send it to you?
I'll remember that one.
Okay. All right, Brittany. Sign off, Air Force.
All righty. It was good to see everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks. And take care.
We'll see you. Thanks again, everybody. John and Samantha.